My mother studied the IB in Norway, and when I found out my family was moving to Oxford, I was looking into schools, and St Clare's seemed like the best option for me.
I decided to go to St Clare's because of the diversity and also because of how open and easy it is. We don't have to wear uniforms. We can call our teachers by their first name, and I decided to do the IB because I thought it was the best or the perfect fit for me personally.
I enjoy very much that you get to try out almost all of the subjects, which allows you to broaden your perspective, and maybe you found out there's some subjects you want to take which you haven't ever thought of before. Also, opportunity to do languages I think is very good, and also meeting all the different teachers is very interesting. Well, I think it has contributed greatly to help me understand what I really want to study, what I'm really interested in. For example, the St Clare's has really broadened my, expanded my interest for studies within humanities, like literature or history, as well as giving me much better foundations for wanting to do, for example, physics next year. So I think it's led to a greater understanding of what I want for myself, as well as what I'm good at.
For me personally, it's much easier to collaborate with not that many people in the classroom. So I think the small classroom size affected me a lot, and also the range of subjects, because we have here psychology and global politics, which is not that usual, I think.
They've been very supportive in many ways. In class they're very nice and funny, and it's easy to have conversation with them, which I think is a broad thing for St Clare's, which I enjoy, as well as giving very constructive feedback and being great helpers. The small class sizes at St Clare's really allow for the teachers to focus on you, and I think, again, I can better understand myself, how I work, and they can better me.
The teachers have supported me a lot, especially with fast answers. If I didn't understand something, they took their time, and after class we sat down to revise everything again. And I think just reassurance, and if I had any questions, I knew I could go to them. I think the group research project helps for the IB because you learn communication skills, also team skills, and also I think research skills, which is one of the most important things, especially for the IB because it's a very research-based.
It was also a great opportunity for me to expand into something beyond the curriculum, particularly in programming and mathematics. So I thought it was really good, and it was also very interesting to see what other people did as well. They all too took their projects sort of beyond what we've learned. So it was very cool to see their creativity and also academic understanding of the projects.
I'm thinking about studying law, and I'm also thinking of doing that in the UK. Due to the fact that I think it's going to benefit me much more than studying in Germany, in my hometown. I
want to be able to have a job which is quite flexible, and education which gives me many opportunities. And right now I'm especially looking at a specific university in Norway called a technical university of Trondheim, which is the place, potentially studying either physics or cybersecurity. If I'm not going there, I'm also very interested in America, also some European universities, and potentially some UK universities too. I've had 2 or 3 career meetings with Dominic and Rebecca, and they have really helped me get in contact with the universities, made the process easier, made me understand how to actually approach these big institutions, as well as giving me clear guidance on what subjects I should take and which I should focus more on or less on in order to really make myself as a good candidate for the university, as well as super curricular activities. And at the HE Fair, I think I got a lot of information about different subjects, what really get to dig the differences between HL, SL, English A, English B. So I feel like I get very good support at St Clare's, and it's very easy to to understand if you're willing.
We got a lot of support, especially from Dominic and Emily. I had 2 one-to-one sessions, and if I had any questions, I knew how to prepare for university, that I have to do some tests because of law, I think, and it's especially also in the pre-IB program, we get a lot of support for careers and information we can always access.
I'm doing a class called Science Fair, and there we take concepts from physics or chemistry, biology, mathematics, anything science related, and then we make these sort of project demonstrations to show to children. We're going to show school very soon our projects, and in my case we made a bike connected to a car alternator, and to see who can create the most electricity. And so then, talking with the physics teacher, we've been able to do this, and this really is very interesting because you get to learn about, magnets and electricity, as well as sort of electronics programming side of the project, which I have found really interesting.
I think for sure was cooking class. Cooking class was so fun because it didn't feel like a chore we had to do every week. It felt like fun, free time. And also the cook Lee is very, very nice, and you can have a lot of fun with them. After that you have a treat you can bring to everybody.
For my activities, I think both running and general gym have been good. Both because you can make it social if you want. You can go with friends and it's fun, as well as it's being a very good workout if you're into that. The trainers, the supervisors, are very nice to talk to and very helpful. So let's say I'm at the gym and I'm unsure about how to do something, I can just ask and they will give me guidance. And for my creativity, I think the first aid connected to DofE has been very helpful, as a broader just like life experience or like life knowledge thing.
I think how unpredictable it was. At the beginning I was very skeptical, and at the end it was much better than I thought, and it's quite a lot of fun if you have a good group and good teamwork. So I think just group support.
As a Norwegian, I really love hiking, and in general I've missed that part from coming here, and I think the DofE has been really good as an opportunity to walk around in nature with your friends, bring some good food, listen to music, and just have a good time. And I also think it's very good to build both leadership, like to train if you want to be a leader, and also teamwork, and how you need to work together to navigate and to maybe motivate each other. Maybe someone needs to carry less or more, these sort of things. So it's a very good bonding experience, as well as very practical and very, very actually good for self-insight too. You get to learn a lot about yourself when you're walking.
I think resilience, since you cannot stop midway. I think also if you have like an obstacle in front of you, you just learn to go over it and keep going, even though it's not nice, but at the end you're getting there anyway. I think because they have organized some sessions, especially for me it was the public speaking session. It helped me a lot to face and talk in front of other people. And I think because public speaking is a thing you have to do all your life, it's a very useful skill.
I definitely think that I'm not missing out to the extent, at least, that I was afraid I was going to. Because the boarders, they're very nice. There's not really a big difference between day students and boarders. And because day students are allowed to go into the boarding houses after school until almost curfew, I feel like there has been almost no separation. Of course, there's an element of the distance, how far you live, away you live. But for me, I live very close. I felt like I've been, just as strong a part of the community as any other.
For me, boarding is very new because I never did it, but I like it. I love it, to be honest. It's like your friends become your family, and you live with them 24/7, which is so nice. And the boarding houses, especially one-to-one, it's a new house, it's very modern, it's well made. I think that's yeah, that's so good. And also the food. Food-wise, St Clare's does have a good food selection. If you're either vegetarian, vegan, or like eat meat, for everybody there's something. And yeah, my house parent it was a delight to meet her. I really like her so much, and she became like my second mom. I think that is a big factor, especially because we have school until 4. You just learn to set your day. Sometimes some people like to study in the evening, some people like to study in the morning. For me especially, it's in the afternoon. So I always try to make space in my day to study if I have something to do. But CAS is like CAS is like school, so we cannot go around it.
I really appreciate St Clare's approach to students and like strictness, which is more like you can let them do more of what they want and manage time themselves. And the pre-IB program is especially focused on giving students the knowledge of how to study effectively, how to maximize your time.
I've grown a lot because of St Clare's, since we get a lot of responsibility. So if we have a deadline, for example, in a week, we're not getting reminded that we have it. We have to set our own reminders, set our own calendars and timetables. So I think being structured and responsible and taking responsibility were the 3 big factors I've learned since being in St Clare's.
Growing up in a small country, in a small city, I felt like I didn't really have an understanding of the world, maybe outside of Western Europe, you could say. But I feel like coming to St Clare's has really opened my eyes to many aspects of the world which I had never considered before, be it culture, music, literature, language too is a very cool place for language. I feel like as a human being, I've got a more broad understanding, and I feel like I know my place better. And it's also very useful to see that we're not so different, you know, like we come from all these different countries, but we're the same when we're under the same roof. And I think this has been very key to my experience at St Clare's, and I really appreciate that.
For me personally, it was to get to know many other people. And now I'm really interested to get to know other cultures, other people, and especially that. Academically, I think it has benefited me, since I'm now considering maybe studying in another country or maybe other continent.
Oxford is very beautiful. It's not a big city, which for some people is bad or good, or for some other people is good. But I think it's very nice, also due to the student culture, because of the universities here. There's often a lot happening due to all the young people. And of course, if you're a dedicated, devoted student, it's a very, very good environment to be in, with lots of small stores and lots of multicultural opportunities to explore, as well as being very close to London, and by train you can go there easily.
I like living in Oxford because it's like a bit in the movies. We're not far away from the center, but we also have our quiet and more calm side. I like that every time I go into a taxi to go back to the airport, I have a full-on conversation with the taxi driver, and that people are open and interested in you. So yeah, I think like the open-minded people in Oxford, they do affect you a bit.
Yes, I'm definitely planning to stay. And I think this is because, well, there's 2 big reasons. One of them is that I think it's the best opportunity, or like best sort of schooling system available to me right now. As well as me just in general really liking it here. I really have got to know some of the teachers, as well as my peers, my classmates. And after going to St Clare's, I couldn't really see myself going to somewhere else unless I were to go home in Norway, but that's not going to happen. So, no, I think it's a very, very good school to be in the world.
Yes, I'm planning to stay here. I was very, very keen to get an offer, which I finally did. And I think the IB is a good way of getting to know many other people. And I think also for learning English and just living abroad to get more responsibility, that were my key. like key reasons, yeah. It is how we can have an eye-level conversation with the teachers and with everybody else, with the vice principal, with the principal. And I think that makes a big difference due to the fact that I think students they get more comfortable and more open to feedback and criticism and everything around that.
I think St Clare's is really good because of the international community of both students but also teachers. So you can have a lot of discourse and like, discovery on different cultures and people and cultural norms, as well as it's very relaxed approach to education. There's no uniforms. You call your teachers by their first names. And I feel like this really makes the whole of St Clare's a really like good community where everyone feels secure and you're not afraid to say something or do something. Whereas I feel like many other schools in the area are quite the opposite, with like a very strict school uniform. It's very, very competitive and very stressful. Whereas here I feel like I'm able to almost like relax in the school day, while also being able to get the good results to compete for university.